This is The Countdown, discussing tomorrow's news today as our top guests tackle the issues that matter with a sharp take on every story. And now, here are your hosts, Andrew Weeks and Onyx Duncan.
Very good morning to you and welcome to another edition of The Countdown. My name is Andrew Weeks. It is the 23rd day of March. We are here again for another production. My co-host Onyx Duncan is back with us. He has been away for a couple of mornings. He's back. He's been on assignment and he's back. Good morning.
I'm still on assignment. I'm still on assignment because right now, today, we are in Kukwani for the Mashumani activities there. So, yeah, I'm still on assignment.
But there's a lot going on in our country today. We have lost part of the building of the Christian Labor College yesterday morning. Yesterday morning, where the whole front part of the building came down in a fire. The auditorium is gone. The parts of the building in front is gone. I think the back is safe, but certain parts of the building and certain classrooms have gone. We're waiting on that official report as to what really transpired there. But Richelieu will rise again. It will rise again.
I want to say this, Andrew. You know, when there's a fire, you normally see those normal faces at the fire. But for a building like Christian College, those normal faces, they're there today. Priya's not there today. But you have wrote it down on the ground. And I also want to highlight this. You know, my cousin, a strong member of the People's Progressive Party, you know, had strong words yesterday. I keep saying yesterday about the Churchill Label fire. And I agree with him. There are so many micromanagement that are happening in these ministries. And I know for one, the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sports, a lot of micromanagement is happening there. So I'm really glad that people are realizing these things are happening and they're speaking out about it. Their own people, actually.
Yeah, but what he said, let firemen do firemen business.
Exactly.
You understand? Let firemen do firemen business. And so we're very happy to know that that we have a fireman who could tell a minister, how we to do we work.
Exactly.
Right? You're not a fireman, stay out the corner. You're an administrator. You're a political head. Stay in the corner.
Yeah. You need to deal with policies. You need to deal with, policies and getting the resources for the ministry so that we can be able to do those stuff.
The firemen, jumping around the firemen. You can't do that. You got to stay back.
Exactly.
We also have also part of the news is that we lost George Foreman, the famous boxer. Yes. We lost
George Foreman is a great boxer indeed.
Yeah. We lost him on I think he died on Friday. And so we're having a lot of stuff going on. We want to continue to make the call as well for support for Melly Mel.
Support, exactly.
The support for Melly Mel. We see Cathy Houston was out there representing the AFC.
You should have footage of that.
Yeah.
Cathy speaking out there. The AFC was out there, the YFC was out there in support for Melly Mel, and we do stand with Melly Mel because we continue to see the undermining of democracy by this People's Progressive Party government. And I want to say also on Friday, the YFC attended the International Day Against Racial Discrimination, and Guilty Shore was out there, and she had strong words again, and I will quote from her that there is no evidence of institutionalized racism in government by the government.
Really? Okay.
So,
There's a lot of words. She's in another world. You live in here.
And that's what I'm saying. And I told a YFC member that Frank Noble and her show, that Frank Noble and Dale Mohammed and her show Future Forward, that she is living in one Guyana and we are living in the one people, one nation, one destiny Guyana.
Mhm. That's right. We also had ERC also had a conference yesterday. I think it was yesterday, right? I think it was. They had a
Yesterday.
conference as well, and they were talking about racial and all these different things.
The
And you were
same
there.
conference she was at, the same event she spoke at.
Yesterday was also on Friday was also the day to observe
Down syndrome.
Down syndrome as well. We had persons.
World
Yeah,
Poetry Day also.
yeah. A lot of things. Oh my gosh, a lot of things happening. And we want to let you know that you could always stay tuned to the countdown and get the information that you need. We also have in the green room, in the backstage,
In the
our guest
backstage.
for this morning, Deonarine Ramsaroop, Honorable MP. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the program.
Morning, guys. Morning, and thank you very much for having me this morning here. It's going to be a long day, a very
MP,
beautiful
it's the
day.
first time you're coming on the countdown. We want to welcome you to this part of the world, where we bring everything down to the numbers, the countdown.
The
Yes.
numbers.
Very good. I enjoyed the program.
MP, I know you have some kind of oversight in the forestry department and also in the what do you call it, natural resources department, where a number of things have been happening with this government for the past 4 + 5 years, almost 5 years, because elections are going to be this year anyhow. Maybe tomorrow now, you never know. Just like Trinidad call all elections, they would call all elections too as well, because tomorrow, matter of fact, today, in Babu John, observing the good guy that they revered so much, Chetty Jagan. And when you go by Chetty Jagan home, it's in shackles and shambles, and they revere, the leader, the father of the nation, they call it, but they cannot give the man that is just due. But they've gone to Babu John, you understand, to raise up all kind of so-called zombies that never was and never will come to help them, because we know that this year, when the elections are called, the whole country is calling for them to go. So,
Yeah.
Mr. MP, give us an update on so far of what's happening in the forestry sector. What is it that Guyanese need to know this government is doing in the forestry sector of this country? We have told a lot of foreigners in the country, in the forestry department, in the interior, in the bush, cutting down our forests, taking away our lumber, and all sorts of things happening. What's going on?
So, look, Andrew and Onyx, thanks a lot with what's happening. I think, look, you guys got to recall when we took government in 2015. We have really issued a lot of forest concession to our local Guyanese. We have actually brought it when Barama give up their share. It was issued to local people. And by Shanling give up, and we actually put them under pressure because they were not doing what they're supposed to be doing. We give those lands back to the forestry local Guyanese people, because I know that the president was making his early year statement stating that we run by Shanling out, we run this one out, we run Barama out. People have the responsibility. What we are trying to do is to make the playing field level for everybody. Not only international people must have the full benefit, and that's what's happening also in the oil and gas sector. It's happening in the gold sector. You have to make the playing field level so that your local people can compete. We are competing in the same market. So how can you not paying royalty, which Barama was not paying royalty? You understand me? How is it that you begin competing in the same market? Because their cost is going to be less, obviously. So these are some of the things that we have to correct. And when we try to install back them to pay to make the playing field level by them to install to repay royalty on the forest produce, they didn't want to do that. You understand me? So and then they said, and then now they're going to say that we close down these these companies. We didn't close down the companies. Companies have their choice. You understand me? They had a choice to make. You have to know if you want to operate, you don't want to operate. And we work with every single body. We understand the problem with by channeling, which they're both saying about. It was their company. They gave them a whole breach a lot of policies and laws to give them what they were getting. You understand? So it's going to happen. We were trying to correct it, the problems that they were creating for the sector. And when we took over the sector in 2015, it was almost bankrupt there.
Yeah.
We drew over $1.6 billion from the coffers of GFC and put it to several other agencies. The only money that was recalled from that was the one that Plico paid back. Other than that, the rest, we don't even know where they're gone. I mean, we know where they're gone, but we couldn't even recover from them. We haven't got no profit from it because part of the law is the forestry you can invest the money based on board decisions. But in that case, when Anand Gulsaran did that auditing, it shows clearly that there were instructions from the minister then of natural resources, who directed the Forestry Commission where to put the money, how much money to be come out from the forestry coffers. And I see these guys barefacedly going to Parliament and making press conference that the AP and AFC bankrupt the Forestry Commission. They're the one who put it in the state. They had only $200 million to overdraft in an account. That is what we receive. And we leave that money there to try to get some maturity out of it. You understand me? So when they're coming and talking about the forestry sector, oh, they're bringing and making it great again. Forestry, they're the one who destroyed it in the first place. And that's a sector it cannot be rectified overnight. You have to spend the resources now that they got the oil money to be put it some into this. That's one of the sector that can become sustainable for this country. This is one of the sector that you have to make sustainable. Fortunately, now they're earning carbon credits money now, but nothing is going to the GFC. The staff is not even paid. They said we didn't pay staff; they had to pay backup bills and so on. They're the one who put the bills there. Because if we receive a commission that didn't only have $200 million in overdraft and I think they had over $90 million in overdraft checks and $200 million in a fixed deposit. You know what I mean? You see the difference?
Mm-hmm.
And they were taking overdraft, and we had to be paying overdraft plus all the bills of electricity and waters, what they were saying back it up. They're the one who put it there. They were running it for the last 23 years. So how is it one government can come create all this mess within a space of less than 4 years? I would say 3 years, because after the no confidence motion, we actually only had 3 years to function. And mind you me, the ministers Raphael never instruct the board what to do. Never. The forestry uses one run its own operation. And importantly, guys, we never fired nobody from the Forestry Commission. So those persons who are managing the 23 years or the same person who were in there for the last 4 years when we took over that commission. So that nonsense that they're talking about bankruptcy, we have the proof. Let them bring the proof that show that we bankrupt it. Let them go and do the auditor general report. Why didn't they do our report like we did? We did an audited fund of that commission, which was done by Anand Gulsaran. That shows all the deficiency, all the instructions. They'll breach all the procedure of instructions coming from the minister. They never went through the board. And when I talk about board, only the other day they installed back the new board. It was missing over a year, almost for 2 years. This is how they govern. This is the governance of the Forestry Commission. And they come and telling us what we bankrupt. There's just words you're talking about. Bring your facts forward, man. Bring your facts forward. Show us that we bankrupt the Forestry Commission, and I will tell them right in their face. It's the same people. 23 years is the same people we maintain there. Those are the people who are there.
So Ricky, you're saying that
I am
sorry,
not
Ricky.
a mistake again. It's not going to happen again. It is not going to happen again.
So you're saying in 2015, Ricky, that you met those people in the Forestry Commission and you left them there, and during 2015 to 2020, the forestry sector was better off than how it is prior to 2015 and how it is post 2020.
Our policies that we had was high compared to what they are doing there. We have in 2018, we started what we call a national forestry policy statement, which was absent for decades. We have an overarching national forestry policies plans, and that is what we were working and govern it. And it was very superior to many of what they were doing. We were doing things by the regulations and the act and the laws of Guyana. We didn't run a fly by night to doing it, and we do it here. We thought it was going to give us a broken system to work with.
Yeah.
We received a broken system. Money was squandered out from there. You understand? But we had this blight of a country, of a man in our party that believed that he can make a decision and saying that he's gonna bring down the government. There's blight and gonna pop it in the mouth all over the place. There's anything for the country. What is happening to Guyana poor people? He is the one to blame. And y'all know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, definitely.
Judah for Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ricky, I realized that we had a visitor in the country recently. Yes, we had a visitor in the country recently. You know, you remember that, right? We had the former president of Colombia, Mr. Ivan, and he lauded the government for its major potential for green energy development through its standing forest. He said that during a presentation at the opening of the Ghana Energy Conference at the Marriott Hotel in Kingston, he said that when he was talking to dignitaries and politicians and oil executives and so on, and he said that the country is on an upward trajectory with its development of fossil fuel. It has a similar, he said, a similar capacity for development in its vast biodiversity, which means, he said, and I want to use this word based on the Criterion News report. He said, green is the new black. Green is the new black.
Green is the new black. So,
right? Which means that, green is the new black. What would be your takeaway from his presentation? You know, on all that he would have said, and based on what you have gathered during the conference and all of that on this same topic.
So let me start with the positive on the statement that you just the green is a new black. He's perfectly correct. Green is a new, listen to me. I'm not saying that is happening. I'm saying what he said is happening. Green is black, meaning that is where the energy has to be going. The other one is saying the biodiversity.
Yes.
The biodiversity, indeed we are rich in biodiversity, and there's no doubt about it. Right? But I can tell you what. When we were in power, and I said this in our press statement on our International Day, yesterday was our International Day of Forest. Right? Yesterday, it'll be on Friday. Friday was our Friday is our International Day of Forest, on the theme Forest and Food, because forests contribute a lot to our people, and we got over 13% of our land, which is owned by the Armenian people that depends on that for their livelihood. Right? Then we have about over 4.5 million hectares of land for people who are doing logging for businesses. Correct? We have over 450 small concession holders, and we had over 25 large concession holders. We have about close to about 300 sawmillers operators in Guyana. These are all providing employment and things, and all is coming from our forest, right? If you are going to be talking green is black, I want them to tell me what happened to those lands that we put under the 4 parallel under the APNU AFC as conservation, as areas to biodiversity conservation, right? Those areas, I learned some of them has been given to some of the friends. Mind you, Iwakurama is the only conservation company that is here now in Guyana that has a concession that doing research purposes for biodiversity. Iwakurama. CI give up their land. Conservation International. They're probably still in Guyana. Then you have WWF, but the only organization that had or has a concession to do biodiversity research and conservation is the Iwakurama organization. And they found the other day recently, I don't know if you all follow, that somebody was doing illegal mining in the
Yeah.
concession. It is mean there's a weakness in policies and monitoring of what's happening. Because everybody believes there's a freeness now in Guyana. You can go dig gold any way that you want to dig gold. You understand me? We see the problem is the issue of Chinese landing. We see who's controlling what. We see that the gold declarations are declining, despite the prices rising. You understand me? We see, and so these are all the problems. So when they're talking about telling the Colombian former prime minister that I don't know what they told him. There is no green energy here other than what we install. We put in here making Bartica green. I don't know if you remember the project.
Yes.
We secure solar system for Kwakwani, for Madhya. These are the areas that we want to make green and energy sufficient using solar energy. Then we are going to resurrect. We had money finding for Moka Falls. Now the government is back in 4 years here, plus the 23 years. How much of green energy have they produced for Guyana? Other than bringing the damn 2 old Bracadong power ship, plus the 17 tandem generator that they brought here for billions of Guyana dollars. What are they talking about green? Then and now we're going to bring in power plants. What happened to the hydro project?
Mm.
They said that we closed down the hydro projects. They had 22 years and can't get it done. They got 5 more years here and still can't get it going. Why?
Ricky, go ahead. Sorry to cut you.
Feasibility is important for these massive projects. Feasibility is important. You cannot go spend your money without having feasibility studies done for these massive projects. And that's why we are fearful for the gas shore energy plant that is coming through Wales. Because, brother man, y'all listen to me very carefully. If anything goes wrong, this whole region 4 will be affected with region 3.
Serious.
You understand?
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that because great politicians think alike. Because I was going to say that the PPP really and truly runs away from feasibility studies. And we need to have these feasibility studies done so that we can ensure that the project that you're putting out there will work. We will, without those feasibility studies, we will not know because you're taking a risk by putting so much money into it. And you also mentioned gold prices dropping. What is the cause for those gold prices dropping? You also mentioned that
the gold price, the gold declaration, but the price is going up.
Sorry. And the declaration of gold, because what is happening there, gold smuggling is on the rise again, and they're not, putting something in the works to deal with that. And also, you mentioned that Kokwani was to be one of those places that they're going to go green, and we're in Kokwani right now, and the power plant that was delivered to Kokwani by the APN AFC coalition is not, it's not working anymore, I should say, and they're not doing anything about it.
So there's no surprise for us because we at our Friday press conference, during just before halfway of our press conference, we had blackout.
Yeah.
Right? But we had blackout. I mean, these are the things they wanted to they invest all this money into these power ships and to these generator that they bought. And when people advises them about the generator, they want to blame us. About it. We literally run this country for 3 years, brother man. 3 years. The rest we had to do take care of government. We had to do it, right? You had ample. You had the most. You have 10 times more the resources that we had in that 3 years, and this is what you're doing.
Roads.
Is more, I understand, but you have to put brand new generators. You got to get competent people to run these systems. You can't get an accountant to run GPL.
No.
You understand me? You got to get the engineer. And we had a good guy from Jamaica. I can't remember his name. You understand? So we talk about energy. let me tell y'all something. We have in Guyana here one of the most best country in the world. We have a ton of natural resources. I can boast anywhere in the world about this. Anywhere I can boast about the resources that we got for Guyana. We got a beautiful country. All we got is a messed up politician. Messed up
Corrupt.
politician we have. So corrupt to the maximum that they can't even know their head from the foot. We got companies that are getting billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. You call them ghost companies.
Yeah.
Ghost companies, their project ain't start yet. And they got a whole abundance of the money that they receive first to run this project.
Yeah.
And these guys have got the guts and glory to speak about we are managing the country good. We're making Guyana better. You got close to 50% of the people on the poverty level and you're still boasting. You're boasting about the fastest growing economy and your people is below 50% under poverty. What are you measuring? Where is the census that they do? This whole governance system in Guyana here is, despite the former prime minister says it is a trajectory, maybe the country is in trajectory, but the people still remains below. There's a difference between the country and the people that living in the country, which is a human resource or human capital.
Yep.
Ricky, is there a subcommittee in the Parliament on forestry and biodiversity that have they met to discuss anything on that matter?
Thank you very much for bringing that one up. So when we talk about governance now, which is the highest office in the country, which is Parliament, we in the first 2 years we took about 2 years before we could have we took about a year to start that committee, the Forestry Resources of Natural Resources Sectorial Committee. Right, I am a member of that committee. That they never had, when the government was chairing it, they had no meeting. We took over the chairmanship of it, and every statutory date we had a meetings. We had them as probably, because remember the quorum is determining. The opposition has one. I think once you have 4 members, you can have a quorum, whether opposition or government. So we just always be there, including our chairman. So we have held as many meetings as possible. When we call for companies to come and scrutinize in that Parliament, they are being protected by the government, coming and saying about conflict of interest, and that we want to protect the company. You have to. Parliament is there to scrutinize company to ensure that they abide by the rules and regulations of the country. We have to also talk with companies and ensure that the government is treating them in a fair manner. When the logging company came to Parliament, they applied for the land survey for piece of land, how much years to set up a sawmilling, and they could have not get that piece of land. And they brought it to us and committee and asked us for help. So we have write the minister, Vikram Bharat, and says, look, the company has there, they want to do value added. This is what the government is proposing. Can you help the people to get a piece of land to set up the thing? And that is part of what you do. You don't have to scrutinize or victimize a company. We are there to help also. We can propose different measures. We can make recommendations where necessary. And that is what we do as a sector. And from now, so as soon as we term ended, I think it was last year, June or July, from then to now, no meeting again. And this is now chaired by the government again.
So you're saying that the government has stymied the meetings of the sectoral committee on forestry and natural resources. They don't come, they don't show up, even though they're the chair.
They don't call a meeting, boy. They don't call a meeting to say, okay, let us go and have this meeting. I mentioned it in my budget speech in Parliament. The minister says that, okay, it's soon to come. You understand me? But then soon to come, and it's come elections on a year, the time the term is going to come into an end.
The current chair right now is who?
Is the Minister of Natural Resources, Vikram Bharat.
Vikram Bharat.
Yeah. Right. So we are calling, we're calling on him to many occasions. So come and let us get the meeting going so that we can talk with the companies, see what's going on. You know what I mean? Ensure that the oil companies them are abide by our rules and regulations. Ensure that the gas shore energy projects are target. We wanted to see the financial management plan. The sixth project I think is coming online. The EEP is going to do their meetings across the Guyana. But we wanted to see where's the what you call it, the management development plan, the field development plan, right? We are not seeing anything from that. So those are things that we want to bring the companies into parliament and say, okay, can you show us these things? We want to scrutinize it. We want to ensure that it's compliant with our rules and regulation in Guyana. Because if something goes wrong, my friend, out in that Atlantic Ocean, the entire coastal of Guyana will suffer. The entire fishing industry will suffer. The entire biodiversity in the ocean, which is richer than the one on top, going to be suffering. The people who live in our coastal our countries, depending on tourism for the thing, will suffer, and we have nothing to gain from that. We're gonna be losing billions of dollars, and it could put our countries at debt because you know what? We don't have what you call a parent company guarantee.
Hey, Ricky, I want to ask how much money was allotted in the budget, 2025 budget, to the Forestry Commission?
Forestry Commission is a semi-autonomous agency. They don't have budget. The budget they have to generate their own finance. What government can do is to put support, which I asked them to do of all my budget speech because the Forestry Commission is a very, very important sector in the country. It has to manage 85% of our land is forest. We have a big responsibility. If you're going to talk green, the Forestry Commission is one of the most important agencies we got in Guyana when it comes to green energy or green in Guyana.
So within the last 4 years, the government helped in any sort, you know.
Yeah. So they give them. I think they were. They give them about $300 million dollars. That was to help them do some monitoring and management. That was in 2023, I think, 2023.
Okay.
I didn't see anything this year for that. I think there was money only for they're doing a replanting project. Last year they put 300 million to it, and this year they put another 300 million. I think David did a very good job at questioning if it's the same area that they're doing replanting. And I told them in my point, you can do replanting, but it's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
What you do is to focus on urban forestry, which is, I think, I saw Robert Prasad, who I think is the chairman for the protected areas, started for $600 million to do urban tree plant. I think it's about 50,000.
Friday, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's a very good initiative. You understand me? To replant the minute area is also a good plan, but it's pretty expensive. It's not an easy. We can remember these soils are dead soils. You understand me? You have to fertilize those soils. But doing replanting is good, but you have 85% of our land is forest. You have to learn to start to put better management practices in place. Try to do improvement technology to help monitoring it, to manage it. You can do LiDAR systems. You can help to concessionaires to do inventories using LiDAR system. We can invest in those technology. That is where I think money should have come. I think they should have been taking another 5 million from the low carbon, the carbon credits money and put it towards forestry. I also tell them to put another $10 million in a revolving fund, but they're going to put 300 million, which is like nothing. And the bank put $600 million, and only 11 people got that money. That money, what I propose is, since I was president of the Forest Products Association, it was to have $10 million in a revolving fund with FA and forestry manages the money to help the small and medium-sized enterprises to develop. Okay? And we will be doing that, my friend. Those are the policies that will be implemented back. We're going to have a revolving fund from the government. We're going to have monies coming from the oil and gas and try to develop the other sector to make it sustainable, the non-traditional oil sector. And that is where we're talking about health, we're talking about education, we're talking about forestry, we're talking about agriculture. You understand? These are the things that we have to develop. And so we should start doing more value added in our natural resources sector. We have to do one from the bauxite. Barnum started it. Barnum statement is still relevant for today. That we should be able to manufacture more value added in our own country. plant was there, they never wanted to resurrect that because they want a spiteful politician. You have to get continuation of project. You must recognize when there's good projects. We have to come and start to do value added in the gold sectors. We should be able to polish diamonds here also. We should be able to put more, try to get our energy costs as low as possible. Especially in the Gashashore plant, we're going to be 50% reduction. Highly impossible. David and I do have some good calculation. David, excellent on this. And we wanted to know how they come to 50% of the calculations.
I wanna, Ricky, I wanna, drive home the point again from this former president of Colombia. I want to publicly hear what he said in his presentation about our forestry. Yeah, he said here, and it's quoting from Kaicho News.
Sure.
He said, oh, you hearing me?
Yeah.
He said here that when you have 90% of a country in forests, when you are doubling its protected areas, when you have all the municipalities of the multiplicity of species, you are also a country that is sinking carbon for around 20 billion tons. Then the question is, a dollar invested in Guyana is much greener dollar than invested somewhere else. That is competitiveness. So our forest, man, it's big.
As I told you, I agree with one point in the statement. Our forest, I said 85%. He said 90%. All right, that's okay. The point is that our majority of our land is covered with natural forest. What I don't agree with is that when you're saying that our protected areas are double, I want them to show me that. We are the one who put the area below the food parliament as protected areas. We, with the AP and UAFC, did that. They have done nothing, and I think they removed some of those areas already that was under the protection. So where biodiversity double anyway? Where? You understand? What are the protected areas they have other than Ayakrama? What happened to the Conservation International concession?
And World Wildlife Fund gone.
I know I stray away a little, but I want to talk about that gas to energy project. What that they're pushing down our throat, and I know it's going to come real fast during this election period. What's your take on that? And is it another mile for us?
I've speak about this several times. I think I briefly mentioned it in Parliament. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But repeatedly we say it in many programs that we are fearful that the Gashashore plant can end up like the sugar Skellen sugar factory, because they have not done any feasibility study for that project. If you notice, the company that was doing the foundations is been taking them to court because that area, Andrew and Onyx, we know that area is Pegas. The soil type there is Pegas land. That's what the sugar cane was planted on. And that was the first testing that you had to be doing, the soil, the stability. And then it is on the bank of the river. And you notice at the bank of the river, you know what happens at the bank of the river, right? So we are fearful that many of these projects that you're talking about, especially the Gashashore energy plant, a project is going to be one as another white elephant. But the only hurtful part here, guys, that we have spent billions of dollars on that project. So my question with David and I were talking about it because I rapped with him. I got a little bit of responsibility of public works too, and we used to rap about it. David, if we get back this government, what's going to happen? What are we going to do with this thing? Because we know all the problems. So Ricky, so much money has spent that we don't know. We'll have to really do a very good assessment to see where we're doing it. But we can't waste the people money.
Yeah.
You understand?
No feasibility study was done for that project, Ricky.
And no feasibility study. And then if you ask, the Exim Bank was putting the money. They said they got the money approved. Did they receive it up to now? Let me tell you something.
Exactly. That was something that was raised in the news in regards to the Exim Bank receiving the monies.
Yeah. And so we were telling them, you cannot put our, because we got paid for the money. The Guyanese people, that taxpayers in Guyana will have to pay for those for that money.
Yeah.
And because especially if you backfire and they can't get it going. You understand? So it is very troubling, guys, that we are fearful that that might end up another scale then, because you remember their legacy. The legacy, we had a lot of white people, right? We had a Skull and Sugar Factory, we had a specialty hospital, we had a fiber optic cable, we had
Miles
project, we had there's one more. There was another major one that really wasted a lot of money.
Mhm.
These are, and despite people like Anna Golsaran, who are Auditor General, tell them that there is no feasibility study. We can't. This is bad for Guyana investment. If I got that report, I can share it with you guys. It has a recommendation from the Auditor General. And that was Anna Golsaran. And that's why they had problem with Anand, because Anand is straightforward. He's professional.
Yeah.
You understand? And so these guys here was really wasting our money, and they're still doing it. Look at the, I mean, if I if I tell you guys about what's going on, they're boasting about. Let me tell the Guyanese people this. Name me one project that the government, maybe two, because I think that they said they're going to build a stadium at Barbies. That was never in our pipeline, because we believe a stadium in Barbies is not going to work for the Barbadian people. What we have to do is create jobs. You understand? Or what we can do is upgrade those grounds like Port Moran grounds and the other grounds in Guyana, in quarantine, to make it a facility. But that is not going to create job for the Barbadian. They will still have to go and cut cane, and they still have to go and catch fish. All right? I'm planting rice. They ain't going to do it. What they had to do is to put up more agro-processing facility for those people in Barbies. They have to start teach them and invest money into cash crops and the other projects, the 5 Ps program that we were doing to diversify the agriculture sector. That is what you have to be focusing on the people. You understand me? You have to come to tell these people. So what my question was, name a project that they were doing there. That
is successful.
Now we had money for secure for that. That Demerara Bridge, we had money done secure and signed off for that already. We had a feasibility study over there. David won the case against it's all about this no feasibility study.
Ricky, I want you to highlight to the people how many of those projects that they're currently doing, like the Demerara Harbor Bridge, that was already, talked about by the previous administration.
The Demerara Harbor Bridge money was secured under our government because of the stewardship that we showed, the governance that we showed. Money for the Al Mandela Avenue and the road for Suzaik and all, what they got to put in, all of was secure under our government because our stewardship is shown as governance. The four lanes supposed to be in Sherrill Street, Manila. I don't know what happened to the Sherrill Street project. The East Bank one, we also secure money for that one. The East Coast Road, of course, the extension. We had money secure for that. The embankment that is pushing now, we had money secure for that. All right? These are all projects that we secure money for that we have. The only new one I built is the crane one that over there. Over the river. Right? The other road that are upgrading from the coast, yes, they are doing that. All right? But all the massive major projects of transformation is what we would do, what we did. If they tweet it or modify it, I understand that. That's fair enough. But that's our projects that we do. We will claim those projects. They don't have this vision for this country. The vision when they got is to set up a stadium. That is the vision that they have. All right. There was the Linden Highway. That vision, bro. Y'all went up there. Look, y'all pass it Sunday. Check the conditions.
It's in a terrible condition. It's in a terrible condition.
You see the Linden Bridge? The 4 lane.
Yep.
That's our projects that we had here. You see the Mabura, Linden to Latham Road?
Latham Road.
Let me tell you what happened. And let me tell you a little story. What happened there? The vice president or sorry, the government says that they never don't want to continue with that project. That money came from the UK government, but the UK said, "Well, give me back my money. Give me back my money, and we can cancel the project because the money was already handed to the government. We already had the money. You understand me? If it wasn't for that, the project from the Brazil that road would never done.
Yeah.
I want Onyx tell Andrew the condition of Ituni Road, how rough it is right now.
You can't go through there with a bus. You can't drive through there with a bus.
You right, Chapter? The Botakari Road for go across to there's a mess.
Mm-hmm.
The road for access through Omai to go through is in a mess. They want to go through from Shurima, Shurima to come over. To come over the other one in a mess. There's nobody monitoring these interior forest roads. And the contractor they park, they don't want for the 72 village there, the machine park inside there with some contractors from Madhya, some old equipment parked there and are leaving the people like that. And nobody's complaining. The money's been spending there. When we were there, Raphael Trotman says that GGMC will support interior road design with the assistance with the Ministry of Public Works. We set that policy in there. We set that policy to GGMC because all of us access the road. Forestry, lovers, GGMC, everybody access those roads. So we set up a policy where the GGMC will finance those interior roads for maintenance. These guys can get some Qatar contractors to maintain this road.
No, they're providing jobs to their friends, families,
I'm saying this, I'm talking raw language here.
Yeah, Ricky, we're losing you.
That we're going to be holding some of these guys here very
comfortable. I guess we're losing Ricky.
We're losing some signal from Ricky.
Hello?
Go ahead, Ricky.
We're back now, Ricky.
Right, yeah. So I'm telling you guys that we are going to be holding a lot of these contractors accountable for the quality of work that they have done. They will have to tell us where the money is spent. You understand me? We'll be looking back at the project documents, the building documents, and we're going to be comparing, and we're going to have what you call auditing done, or quality auditing done, quality assurance, for these projects. So they believe they get away with murder, and I want to know which country they can run. They can't go to the US because Uncle Donald waiting for them.
Yeah. Just to talk about projects and the quality of work, we talk about all the roads leading to, to Pokwani and Chuni Road and all of that. And the Heroes Highway is one such project, and it's already a failed project. It's not even 2 years.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm so disappointed with that project. Them guys rushed this thing and dig. Those areas there were kid field, bro.
Yeah.
Proper foundations.
Exactly.
Testing. When I told Edgil in Parliament that if you remember not back road, they wanted Cemetery Road.
Okay, yes.
When he said the spirit there are running the walkers away. I asked him the question during the budget if he done what you call an ESIA on the road, right? Project. If he did done an ESIA, then he would know that the burial ground was there. It is not good for health conditions. They would know how to combat it, and the recommendation would have come out from that report, right? He said that I don't know what I'm talking about. Every major road project that you're going to go through to push roads, especially the one that continue from Bosby Dam to go down to there, you're going to push trees and you have to do feasibility study. You have to do an ESIA. You have to know the ecosystem you are going to be destroying. You have to know if it is what is there any any site that's in place that you put up to some old burial ground or something again you don't even know.
Yeah.
So you have to do feasibility studies. So when you do those feasibility studies, the ESIA, it just comes out into action. And then the most important of an ESIA is a social impact assessment, the social component of it.
Yeah.
And you're missing these things. Every project massive that's going through Guyana should have an ESIA done. Should have an ESIA done. And that's what we're going to expand. I told you some of my responsibility is EPA. These are some of the things I will implement, man. We have to put things properly in our country. We have staff. You want more staff? We can hire more staff. Train your staff.
Yeah.
We are doing it in the proper way, and we're doing proper governance and ensure that we can be state of the art. Not fly by night and you're going to go, it's called no brainer. There's nothing but no brainer. This is intelligence, bro.
Ricky, I mean, we got 10 minutes more to go, but Ricky, I wanted to give the public and the viewing public here an update. You are also responsible for you're the geographical rep for the East Coast of part of the East Coast of Demerara.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of projects going on there as well. Projects in Victoria, projects at Enmore, projects going on the East Coast on Success area, project also at the back in the care field. A lot of things going on. Roads are being done. Walking paths are being done. Roads are destroying within less than 6 months. Give us an update in terms of some of the things that you would have seen in your constituency that is a call for alarm.
First, I've welcomed any road to be done because we need it. Network is very important. But when it comes to quality is where I got a big issue with. Right? I'm not seeing the amount of inspection and testing done on these, especially the embankment now is pushing. They're pushing the embankment from Enmore. They're expanding the thing from Sherry Street to come right down. And then they're expanding from Enmore now because of the highway, the embankment, they finish up to Enmore. So they're not expanding. They're going to pass us here, my community here. But these guys now, alignment now, they still got people on the reserve.
Yeah.
Right? And they're moving now into people land and people discomforting people where they could have gone in the reserve. So they're moving the alignment away from trouble zone. When it comes to Maripo line top, go up line top, I don't know. I see people still billing on the reserve there. UGPL had a big reserve. I don't know how these guys get permission for these lands. Let me tell you something. I don't know how they get permission to build that. And I don't know where the extension goes. After the 14 extension, you can't extend anymore. So I can understand the billing, divert your attention and billing the hang of where the cane field is, a success and so on.
Yeah.
But then again, those are cane field land. Those are not big canals and so on. I want to know what the amount of quality work that they're doing. They got to test. Where are the reports on these things?
What about drainage?
The drainage, they're concreting the drainage, but the width, I was observing this morning that the width, I was like, really so narrow? How much, if you got like 4 inches of rainfall, you're going to have another flood on the road.
Yep.
You understand me? I
cover the drains, so it's another thing. That's another issue.
And the reason for doing that is because people build on reserve. Permanent, I'm talking about permanent structure, not temporary structure. I'm talking about permanent structure. They're giving us land. Boss, check my report. I don't know how to fall in. There's a gas station there, and how is it?
How the 4 lane passing there?
See that? Then you're going to talk about harassing people in Pleasant. But you
They're
see
going to go wrong the 4 lane.
And Good Hope.
They're going to go wrong they're going to go wrong there. They're going to go wrong the gas station.
They're going to go around the gas.
They can go around the gas station,
gas
station.
These things are ridiculous. I mean, if you're going to be doing proper projects, let me tell you something. Is the APNU AFC under leadership of
David
Granger, but David Patterson in the
David Patterson, public works,
that saved that East Coast Highway. You see the quality of the work? That is our quality. Imagine the road. That is our quality. You have to call them back. And remember, we extend the curb wall at the side for the drainage. We extended higher. You remember?
Higher,
exactly. 24 inches, I think, went up by. They have to break back the curb wall and rejoin back, I think, 24 inches and build a proper highway. Today, you see that? The only thing that is collapsing is those bridge. Because it was a pool, that's the engineering fault. They had a problem with the bridge design.
So we're in trouble. What are your takes now on the elections coming up? We got 5 minutes more to go.
Oh, guys, thanks. So allow me in the countdown. I'm disappointed with GCOM. I'm so disappointed with GCOM. We had how much years, 100 million we give them every year to rectify problems at GCOM, right? And the legal officer at GCOM did the right thing. You understand? If you're going to run an election, you have to get a clean list to run it.
Yep.
You understand me? And we talking about biometrics. All the agencies that they were boasting about, everybody see that we were trying to rigging elections. We tried to rig. There's anything about trying to rig an election. They did not want us to see they were rigging the elections because they couldn't account for the recount in the recount. They couldn't account for the 49 ballot boxes on the East Coast. They couldn't account for that with all the thing inside. But when we had a meeting with GCOM, the chairman is going to talk to them. Man, look, I don't want to be disrespectful here. You understand me? Oh, nobody never instructed me to go and do the biometrics. What's your purpose as a commissioner? What are we paying you for is to come up with recommendations to better your system.
To better the system.
That is what you're getting paid for, madam.
Exactly.
You're getting paid for what better this commission. I'm so pissed about it, man. You are getting paid. You're getting paid to make recommendations to better the system, electoral system, to put confidence in people like me and Onyx and yourself, Andrew, who are younger voters to have confidence in a system. You don't wait an instruction from commissioner. You are the chairman of GCOM. You tell him I'm proposing to do biometrics, that you must table this here. And the commissioner will direct you what to do. You have to come with proposal as a chairman and says, I have this here. This is the recommendation coming from the European Union and the rest of the observers. And look, guys, can we take this one on board here? Let us build the confidence of the people of Guyana. Let us build the confidence of the younger vote that's going to come in. How do you do it? Waiting on an instruction from somebody to write you and tell you? When I asked her the question, why didn't you start the biometrics process? Oh, we were waiting. Nobody didn't bring it to us. Only last year, June or July. Something around there, she put that it was tabled here by the commissioner. I can't remember who was it. That's crap. Commissioner Vince Alexander was talking this from day one, but they are refusing to listen. You understand?
Exactly.
So we are still calling from that. I don't know what's going to happen, Andrew, but they can do it. We have time. We can do it.
Well, if they could do it when the cash grant in a couple of weeks, they can do it.
It wasn't a couple of weeks because a lot of people didn't receive the cash grant as yet. So,
if we could talk about cash grant, there'll be another program. But this electoral system here, it is very important for us.
to
understand that the biometrics at polling place is a very important thing. And we had a consultant in Jamaica, which was brought in by IRI, the International Republican Institute, where PVP and AFC and PNC and everybody was sitting, WPA was sitting there with the private sector. And we agreed. And when the consultant brought it from Jamaica to explain how long it will take, how much money it will cost, because Jamaica did it. Jamaica did it. You understand me? And the consultant says he's going to take less than less than $2 million US, and he can take less than 6 months to do, because we already got a lot of information here already. We have a lot of information. You understand? I don't understand why they're coming about. It's a lot of things we gotta do. We are ready. The AP and UFC says in Parliament we are ready to support the legislative change that is needed. And when you meet the ID card that we have is never in the legislation. It was a policy by GCOM, so she can make a policy for biometrics, just like we did for the ID card as a requirement. It is not in the law to show your ID card as a requirement, Check it. It is not by law.
One final question, Ricky. I think this might close off us here and the countdown. Security. I know you spoke about security on our press conference on Friday, and I think it's supposed to be an optimum priority in our country today, because we already know what is happening with the Maduro regime there in Venezuela. What is your take on what is happening?
Andrew, I'm Andrew. Onyx, look, sorry. The security, all I can say is that we need, the government need to have that Foreign Relations Commission enforced. And that is where we're going to have all the discussion. Not calling we when you get problems you can't solve it, you're going to call the opposition to join with you. I would refuse to go there. You understand me? Start the first process you have to do is to establish the commission. Do the commission, and then we're going to stop. And that is where we're making it official. And when we start to do like that, a lot of Venezuela know that we are serious. And that matter should be solved. at the court, ICG. That is my take on it. But they're the one who started nonsense, because when we were telling them about Venezuela since 2020, and that they're going to cause, and in Parliament at 2021, I told them about transnational crime. Now they're talking about transnational crime in 2025. Shame on them.
Shame on them.
We also have one more. The Robeson Ben saying that there might be spies in Guyana, but he's not doing anything about it. And we have
these guys, they are old and outdated. You understand? Spies, if you know the policy of Venezuela, since they're 18 years they got in the army. What you mean talking about spies? You didn't know that? You ain't got an ambassador in Venezuela? You know? When we were telling you to cut, he didn't start the committee in Parliament with National Security Committee. He is the one that were balling and Cameron started it, and now when he take over the ministry, that he can get to, you're gonna ball, but he is at fault. He's at fault of all this what's happening, because he should have started a committee there. Now we're gonna bring in these people and know what policies are in place, and we could have helped them at Parliament. We're gonna help them in the Parliament, and help them in the commission. You're gonna want to go a joint meeting with those to show to pitch a story. It's nonsense. They're responsible. They're the Minister of Public Security. Home Affairs is responsible for what is going to happen.
That's correct.
Along with the rest of them, because they don't understand security. Security is a national priority. You have to come together. You got to bring both. When it comes to Venezuela issue, everybody got to come on the table and sit down and discuss that. Put political bygones on the side, and let us address the issue together. And you got to do that. You got to put the proper thing in place. Start the Parliamentary Security Committee and start the commission. Establish the commission. That's two major things for you. You understand me? When you put in the one in Parliament, we can call the GDF here to come to Parliament and say, let us see your policies. We can give you some recommendations. Can you focus here? You understand me? We have people who deal in our party that deals with Venezuela issue since from Barnum days. Austin,
Ronald Austin, yes.
Ronald Austin. Senior and junior.
Both of them. Senior and junior.
No, sharp boss. Carl Greenwich is a very one guy that I admire.
But before you jump away, Ricky, there is, I want to bring this up for you, because it's very important that we make our presence felt. But this is coming up very soon.
Yeah.
On the 28th of March.
Next Friday. This Friday.
On the Venezuela border by the Center for International and Border Studies with Professor Mark Corton at the Hodgmanson's Lodge Hotel there. I know a lot of persons are going to come out. These are the guests. We got Carl Greenwich there, Ralph from Quran, a professor from Brazil. We have former ambassador Cheryl Miles. We have Raed in Sonali, and we have this university final year students, Mr. Denny, who's going to be a part of the panel. This is going to be a good opportunity for us to come out and hear what is on the cards there. So, you know, we're going to look out for that. Also, we want to let the public know that we are going to be, today we are in Kokwani, and these are some of the proposals that we have on the screen that we're asking the Kokwanians to come out and know that the AFC, as the next government, will ensure that you in Kokwani get the needs, get everything that you need in terms of, you know,
a better life.
A better life. We have things on empowerment and education, create jobs for them, modernizing the infrastructure, reliable utilities for all, because Kokwani is having regular blackouts now. Elevating healthcare services, strengthening community and security, and all of that. That is what the AFC going to do. Ricky, before you go, I want to get your thoughts. If any word of encouragement you have to give to Manny Mel and maybe her family, as she continue to hold on there in the fight to defend and protect democracy. What are your thoughts?
Look, I know she is a very plain-spoken person. She was just fighting for Guyanese here, and those who could not speak out, she speak on behalf of them, and she did it. And she had a very serious issue with corruption, which is no strange to Guyana. If you look at the corruption index, we are in a terrible state in the corruption index, and she speaks about that. And when she
Exposing
talked
the government too.
exposing the government, and they didn't like that. They didn't like that. I mean, but if any good governance or any good government will allow somebody to criticize, and that's how you work. But because of they were operating, I think they lost control in the last 4 years as to the system in Guyana, because the corruption was way out of control, way out of hand. So my encouragement, she got to stay strong, the family to stay strong. She was doing what is on the best for Guyanese people there, and a lot of her information came from the Guyanese people that she got. A lot of information, but whatever difficulties she's going through is going to overcome. She has to stay strong. I don't understand it. I know that there's some legal. The lawyer's going to deal with the legal aspect of it, and I hope, because we don't go after people like that. We never, in our 5 years, we never went down and hunt down people and tell people about it. What we did, we put a policy in place where you cannot put people in derogatory remarks that they're doing now. You have social media commentators go on social media and tell you anything they want to tell you. But that's why we put in put those things in place. You understand me? Everybody believes that they can run in front of TV square and thing and believe that that's it. You understand me? So that's some of the things that Andrew, I will just encourage her and her family to stay strong. That we are hoping that you can get a resolution to whatever difficulties you got. But I know that America has their policies and the laws, and sometimes we have to know where are they coming from. That's why I'm happy that you got lawyer. I'm happy that many Guyanese are supporting us, including myself, and supporting her and give her encouragement to stay strong. And I know she was trying to do what's best for Guyana.
Thank you. Thank you for being on the countdown this Sunday, Ricky. You're on mute, Andrew. You're talking on mute.
Ricky, thank you very much for being a part of the program this morning. I know that you have a lot of work to do. We are preparing for an elections that we will win. And I wish you all the best as you continue to look out and be a defender for democracy and continue to do the work that you're doing, sir. And as we continue to go on the front line to defend democracy, we'll encourage all Guyanese to do the same. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your Sunday, guys.
Thank you so much, Onyx. That's our program for this morning. We're going to see you right back here again next Sunday for another edition of The Countdown. Goodbye and stay safe.